This week, like many, I've been inspired by Ryan Giggs's poetry. So I'd like to start this video with a little verse. Watkins, what's the score? Watkins, Watkins, what's the score? Welcome to Price Out Fan TV. Ali here, bringing you my match review of the game between Palace and Aston Villa, which of course finished 3-1 to Palace at Selhurst Park in a terrific performance from the Eagles. We're going to go through all the usual features, Vieira's rating and man of the match. So let's start with Vieira's rating. I'm going to give Vieira a 9. I thought he made some big calls, particularly in the central midfield area. In my preview, I said that I would have brought Will Hughes in and moved Schlupp to the right. Vieira was absolutely vindicated. It was a terrific display by Jeffrey Schlupp. The intensity of Schlupp on the right-hand side of the central midfield and Eze on the left, and the attacking intent was incredible. And it was a bold call because to have Decore anchoring against a Villa team, we've got some engines in that midfield. I mean, McGinn and Ramsey, I've got some engines on them. I think they've got a good, probably one of the stronger features of Aston Villa is their central midfield. It was a bold call, but it absolutely paid off. I thought Schlupp did well, and he keeps the shirt now. For me, it vindicates the decision, but obviously Eze was absolutely unreal. And I said it on the Don Bobby DR Sports channel when I was doing the watch along in the Liverpool game, that in the post-match review, that I think Eze could be a late shout for the England squad for the World Cup. I really think he's a great shout. He could really bring something different to that England squad. Does he have too much flair for Gareth Southgate? Let me know in the comments below whether you think Eze could potentially push himself into that World Cup squad. Other big calls, Edouard and Mateta. He went with Edouard. I thought Edouard did quite well. I thought good assist. Should have had another assist. I thought we got beyond those days of a bit of shirt being offside or a small part of the body being offside. To be honest with you, I would rather that goal was given than the handball. No one around me was calling the handball. But it was what it was. We'll come back to the ref in a bit. But I thought Edouard did well. His touch is almost better in the box than outside of the box. Like, his touch in the box is very good, as he proves with the assist that was disallowed. It was a bit heavy at times outside of the box. There were a few times where you thought he was through, but his touch wasn't quite there. But I think he's probably, I'm going to say that I think he's done enough to keep the shirt. But Mateta came on and did really well. Obviously put his goal away really nicely. I'd say maybe Edouard does a bit more off the ball, but then Mateta was going there, winning the ball and things like that. So I think it's the toughest call for Vieira right now, who plays up front when he goes with Edouard or Mateta. Who would you go with? Let me know in the comments below. Are you Edouard or are you Mateta? Let me know in the comments. Another call was that right back where he went with Joel Ward. I've said this so many times. Joel Ward proves it time and time again. He is such a reliable, dependent player. I thought he did okay. I thought we were a little bit vulnerable down the right in the first 10 minutes. Listen, our best play came down the left. But he did okay, Jordan. I thought he did quite well, Jordan. You know, his longevity is amazing. He came up with the promotion-winning team, and he's still doing it amongst this energetic young Palace team. And all credit to him, and long may it continue. Listen, I'd still probably fractionally go for Klein over Ward. I think Rich has done well in the last few games. As I've said before, I'd be massively for Wan-Bissaka coming in, but don't underestimate what the likes of Joel Ward do for this football club. I've got to go to Tyrick Mitchell. He got some weird criticism on social media after the Liverpool game. I think probably because it was wing backs and people criticised his attacking play, but his attacking play was fantastic today, particularly the assist for Mateta's goal, a brilliant ball. And I think people need to cut Mitchell some slack. You know, he's still a relatively young player, still really young in terms of how many Premier League appearances he's had, still learning the game in lots of ways. So I'm really pleased for Tyrick Mitchell today. I thought that was I think that was his best game this season. I've got to mention the centre-backs, Anderson and Gahey. Listen, they take us to a different level. I actually thought Villa played some pretty nice football at times today. But Anderson and Gahey just take us beyond. And there was a point in the second half where I thought, do you know what? It's not he's just too good for you now. We're just too good for you. Because from the back to the front, we outclassed Villa today. but it started from the back. Anderson is such a unique talent. And Carragher described him as Ronald Koeman the other week. And you could say that's over the top, but this guy can spray balls onto a penny for 60 yards. And just imagine when he's spraying those balls on the right-hand side to Elise and on the left-hand side to Saha. Because when we get Saha on the left, Elise on the right, I keep saying it, Eze in the middle, this team is going to be unplayable at times. It really, really is. But Anderson and Gahey for me, I was watching the game today in the second half, just thinking they're the difference. Because the way that we play, the intensity that we play starts from them. And what really pleased me about Anderson today actually was he was very, very commanding. I've said that in recent weeks. You know, in the first game against Arsenal, when we conceded that goal from a set play, that we needed one of them to be more commanding. In the last two games, that Anderson has exemplified that word commanding. And I said it on social media. If Harry Maguire is worth 80 million, what is Anderson worth? Let me know in the comments below what you think Anderson's value is. I'm going to come on now to my man of the match. I'm going to go. It's a really tough one. I think it's the hardest. This is one of the hardest man of the matches I've done since I've started doing this whole podcast thing. As I said, Anderson was outstanding. Gahey was outstanding. Special mention for Tyrick Mitchell. Special mention for Decore, because that's his third Premier League game. And he just looks like he's been there forever. Between Saha and Eze for me, though, I gave it to Eze on Monday night. I'm going to go for Saha based on the fact he got 2 goals, based on the fact that he had the booking, which, by the way, was when he had a challenge on him, and how that player didn't get a second booking. I can't remember who it was. I was probably too infuriated. Didn't get a second booking, as sending off. If Saha was a booking, then the other player should have had 2 yellows and should have been sent off. There was a clear the agenda of the ref was clear today. But to take that booking, and he didn't lose it. He kept his mentality. For the penalty, he missed it. And I did turn to the person next to me and say, this Martinez is a very good goalie. To keep his cool and get the rebounds. 3 and 3. And there's a little stat for you here. Saha, apart from Son and Kane, has the most goals in the calendar year 2022. I think this is shaping up to be his best season ever. I'm going to give it to Saha for the 2 goals. Last thing I'm going to say on the team is the absolute belief that is running through this team in the way that Vieira is setting up, in the way that he wants to play. 1-0 down, okay, we'll carry on playing that way. We'll carry on playing ball. Goal disallowed, okay, we'll just keep doing what we're doing and playing the ball we're playing. Unbelievable, superb performance today. 3-1 against Villa. We need to carry this on now. Oxford away. We need to take it seriously. Shocks can happen. I would want to see, for me personally, I want to see a half sort of strength team and some other players. I'd like to see Vieira, and I'd like to see, obviously, I'd like to see Mateta given 90, and I'd like to see Elise given 90 for the fitness, because I'm hoping that by Man City, Elise will be coming into the team fully. But we're all feeling glad all over. Let me know in the comments below who was your man of the match. It was really interested in that. It was a really tough one today. Also, I'd like to know in the comments below as well, how much do you think Anderson is worth? What rating would you give Vieira today? But what an absolutely brilliant display. Long may it continue. I think we've all taken 4 points out of 9 at this point, given the fixtures. So we're all feeling glad all over tonight. I'll be back soon with a preview for the Oxford game. As always, if you've liked this video, press the subscribe button. And Watkins, what's the score?